It is with profound honor that I have been entrusted by Speaker Mike Johnson and Chairman James Comer to lead the House Oversight Task Force on Declassification of Federal Secrets. Together with the help of the White House, our intelligence allies, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, we will be conducting investigations into the following: the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and Dr. Martin Luther King, unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UAPs, unidentified submerged objects, also known as USOs, the Epstein client list, the origins of COVID-19, and the 9/11 files. This task force will be a beacon of bipartisanship. On the Republican side, Representatives Burchett, Boebert, Burleson, Crane, Gill, and Mace will be joining me, although I'd like to note that I'm expanding this to the entire governing body and will be allowing certain members to waive on. Our first hearing is set for March. The date will be announced soon, and we've already initiated close to a dozen communications with various agencies, to include Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice and the Secretary of State. This will no longer be a task force that makes bold promises only to fade into irrelevance or send strongly worded letters. This will be a relentless pursuit of truth and transparency, and we will not stop until the American people have the answers they deserve. We will cut through the bureaucracy, challenge the stonewalling, and ensure that the American people finally get the truth that they have been denied for too long. If we are to endure and thrive as a nation, we must restore trust through transparency. The American people must be trusted to think for themselves, to form their own judgments from the truth that they are entitled to know. We've been treated like children for too long and kept in the dark by those we elected to serve us. It is my solemn duty to begin mending this trust, to form a new relationship between the government and the governed. Let us embark on this journey together towards a government that does not serve, but one that enlightens. That does not just serve, but one that enlightens. Trust through transparency, that begins now.
Finally, we had some news today on the release of the JFK assassination files. On Friday, the AG and DNI offices presented their plan to the president to release those files and disclosed that some 2,400 previously unknown of files were uncovered by the FBI as a result of the president's day one executive order. They were never vetted by the review board or the National Archives. So awaiting a plan when we'll see the rest of that come out.
Why is it that members of Congress who are given a top secret security clearance are being denied access? That's not a free and true government. And so for us, especially being that we have now a Secretary of State who's actually open to declassification and Marco Rubio, we're hoping to present that information and at least acknowledge it from a government perspective that we are not alone, but also let's see what the evidence is.
And I know that you've covered other accounts of UFOs moving hundreds of miles an hour underwater, joining with Congressman Burchett's claims. What do you make of underwater UFOs?
I've had the privilege of speaking directly with submariners, particularly, who have been witness to measurements of objects underwater using the sophisticated tracking technology that both the US Navy and my Navy in Australia use. And there are objects that have been recorded unbelievably moving close to the speed of sound in air underwater. So we're talking there about hundreds of kilometres an hour, hundreds of miles an hour. And there's no explanation for it. What we do know is that it is now officially admitted that the mystery of these objects is real. The United States has come a long way in the last 5 to 7 years. It now admits officially through the Director of National Intelligence that, in fact, there is a mystery, a genuine mystery there that requires investigation. And so now under the new administration, under President Trump, there's a big push on privately behind the scenes to get the claims of people like Jake Barber, the guy that I interviewed on News Nation a few weeks ago, who exclusively revealed his knowledge, direct first-hand knowledge of the existence of a retrieval program, an underground retrieval program involving alleged alien technology. Incredible allegations, I know. But what's interesting is there is now engagement at the top levels of the Trump administration and also in the Congress. People want to hear more, and they're asking questions.
And let me ask you about that, because I know Jake Barber revealed that he has met with then Senator Marco Rubio's staff about the UFO retrieval program he says he was a part of. And of course, Rubio is now Secretary of State. What does this mean for the future of UFO information? Do you know anything about this?
Oh, no, that's what we're all hoping to find out. In fact, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has flagged that this week she's got a big announcement coming that she says is bigger than UAPs, which we're all waiting breathlessly to hear. And the speculation is that it might involve some decision about declassification of some of the more intransigent government secrets, particularly UAPs. We just don't know. I think one of the issues for incoming administrations, I think, is they're often not told until they get into office what the secrets really are. And the president has been quite upfront about his determination to reveal what can be revealed about UAPs. As you know, I did an interview with Don Trump Jr. a few weeks ago, and he's obviously very engaged with the subject. I've had more conversations with people in the Trump administration since, and I've had reach outs from people in defense and the intelligence community who frankly tell me that they think it's time the American public, and indeed the world, was told what the US really does know about UAPs. They don't think there's any good reason to keep on hiding what they tell me is the case, which is that humanity has long been engaging with an advanced non-human intelligence, and we have been recovering their technology. But I think that's a big call to say that the government's going to make the decision to release that information, because there are genuinely national security imperatives. I can understand why the Defence Department might want to protect weapons technology or propulsion systems or energy systems. But I think at the very least, President Trump could come out and he could say, yes, we are aware of a non-human intelligence and advanced technology, but we're not going to reveal those secrets to the Russians or the Chinese, potential adversaries. But we do think you, the public, should know that we are on top of this. We're restoring it to congressional oversight because it's been hidden improperly from the Congress and indeed from previous presidents. And so it would be a really big move, I think, by the current president to make that decision and be more open and honest with the American public.
Yeah, I know so many are hoping for more transparency in the next 4 years. Ross, in just about 20 seconds, who do you believe would be trying to cover this up and why?
I think more often than not, Natasha, it's coming from private industry. There are a group of aerospace companies who've got the control of this technology, and by golly, they're not letting go in a hurry.
The biggest things that I'm constantly hearing from people, and it's not just me, but I think it's been generations of congressmen, is that there was a lack of transparency in the federal government. And I think when you have that, it's actually dangerous, because that's where, conspiracy theories will form. That's where people will then lose, I think, sight and hope for their future of their nation and then their government. And so in an effort to combat that, I have been pushing, and I'm joined now by my colleagues and have been entrusted by the Speaker of the House, by the Chairman of Oversight, and hopefully the White House to be aiding in transparency for this country. So that's your hint.